We're back with the notorious Nightmare. Nightmare, say hi.
Hello.
And the awesomely wicked Wicked. Wicked, say hi.
Hola.
And we are Session 5. Sorry about the last couple of weeks. Not only was it Easter, and then we had some internet problems. So, it be what it be. So we're back 2 weeks later on the stream than I had planned, but we're back. And we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Last time on D&D, you guys managed to walk into a tavern, and you met some interesting characters while you were there. Cage's a bewolfed pyromaniac, and Deacon, a seller of magical trinkets, and Cage's mom Barbara, who runs the tavern. You guys managed to talk to Alyssa a little bit with the help of Cages, who knows thieves can't. You also got a couple of interesting tidbits of information. One, a little bit more about Lord Falkreath and his many children. About Smash, or Mash, I'm sorry, Mash, his youngest son that has a little bit of a reputation in the township. And you guys managed to come out with a couple gold coins shorter, but information rich. Thanks to a blessing from Numriel's god, Cage's managed to go do a big kabad boom and managed to distract the guards as you guys left the city. Your latest intel is that you are heading to Lord Falkreath's summer home, which is 2.5 days ish walk to the southeast. As you leave the township proper, you come upon a very, very, very densely foliated wood. There is a single road in front of you. As at the moment, what you can see, there is no one in front of you on that road. And each square is probably going to be about 5 miles, just so that way we can keep it all nice and measured. Anybody got any questions before we start?
5 miles.
Negative.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
I'm old.
No, that's not 5 miles. Let's redact that. I'm sorry. Each square is a mile. There we go. Now put
Okay.
it right at
That
2.5 days.
A lot more doable than 5 miles. Are we full out sprinting the whole time?
You guys are in the very top of the center of the board. Wicked, if you don't give me a character thing, I'm going to cry.
I know, I'm a terrible person. Don't judge me.
The board is yours.
I honestly still haven't decided what the best course of action is for us here.
I'd YOLO it, and whatever happens.
Yeah. Well, my plan was fathers love their children. I don't know why I thought that. Experience has taught me better than that, but whatever. That I would be able to talk to him and be like, hey, there's a plot to kidnap your daughter, but I have first rights to purchase, so you let me kidnap her and give me the money to buy her back. But obviously he's not going to do that because he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Damn it. All right. Guess we're going to stroll on down the lane and see where we end up, I guess.
Would you like to inspect your surroundings?
I guess. There's creepy things in the woods. I know.
All right, you can either do perception. Perception would be a good one for this. Or investigation, I'll take that too. Namriel, are you following? Or are you doing your own thing before I do this?
I'm just following her.
Ubrana, as you look out on the wood, it's a fairly nice day. You guys managed to get out right there before night fell. You got probably about 2 hours until the sun goes down. The woods in front of you, where you're at right now, are very clean. The road is also very clean. It looks like it's very well traveled. You don't see anybody, but you hear snippets of conversation coming from a ways away. It sounds like they're coming from the south of you. You hear regular forest sounds. Birds are chirping, squirrels are doing their thing. You can hear the chittering of a couple of groundhogs and a couple of woodpeckers. Can hear very, very, very faintly at the edge of your hearing splashing.
Okay, so there's water. The voices, do they sound agitated in any way? Or just sound like normal conversation?
From what you can tell at this distance, it sounds like normal conversation. Anything louder would definitely,
Okay.
you could hear it clearer.
All right. So I guess we'll just take it slow and stay on the path.
Yeah.
Let me make sure. Technically, we had a full rest. Right. And we're level 3, right? I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything.
Nope, that is correct. You guys are now level. Yes, level 3.
Okay.
Ooh, let me make sure I updated my character sheet.
Please do. Wicked.
I
When
did.
you get to the curve of the bend of the road, it's been approximately 20 minutes walk. You can see that there are a group of knights blocking the road in front of you about 3 miles up the road. They're not trying to be quiet. It looks like they're proceeding to set up a base camp or a perimeter along the roadside. You can't tell which.
Well, that sucks. You got paperwork, though. What do you think, Namriel?
Out of character, real quick. How many hit points do you think these guards have?
Depends on a lot of factors. What level are they? What kind of armor do they have on?
Unfortunately, you're not close enough to see that kind of detail yet. You need to be within a mile or right on top of them to be able to tell.
Do they have clear line of sight to us? Can you tell that?
No, they're more in the outer curve, so they don't see you yet. So if you move a tile further south, they will be able to have direct line of sight.
Interesting. What are we thinking?
We could dead ass just try and see if our paperwork is good enough to fool them.
Nobody ran past us, so they can't know that there's a building on fire.
That's true.
I say we slowly meander on by.
All right.
What do you think? Ask our friend.
I think that would be fine.
Because
Alyssa,
obviously, if they're knights of the city, they know who she is.
Alyssa nods her head. She doesn't seem to be upset or in distress.
All right, I'm gonna keep going.
As you get closer, you can hear them telling bawdy tales to each other as they begin to set up what looks like a dual purpose camp. There is a barrier across the roadway, and there is a single soldier standing beside the barricade. The rest of the 7 knights, so there are 8 in total, the rest of the 7 knights are setting up a roadside tent and getting together materials for fire. And that's what you can see from that distance.
What kind of feeling do I get from the lone guard?
He's actively staring at what appears to be a small group walking up. He's calm. He's not shouting. He's just patiently waiting. Your perception, as you notice that the sun is lowering over the horizon, you get a sense that it's getting close to night. There's nothing odd about it. It's just a normal night. Not getting anything funky from the woods or anything else. As you guys come within hailing distance, the knight waves at you and beckons you forward.
I'm gonna rifle through my stuff nonchalantly. I'm gonna look for the paperwork that the butcher gave us. I'm also gonna slip a gold coin between the pages and hold them folded, but I'm not gonna hand them to him. I'm just gonna hold them and walk closer.
As you walk closer, you notice that it's a very flimsy barrier. It's what appeared to be, wood is like very, very shabbily put together. Horses with a bit of string across the end of it. It's a very formidable barricade. As the knight looks up at you and nods, as he removes his helm, he says, "Good evening."
Evening.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ask that you turn around and go the opposite direction. The Lord of Falkreath is hunting these woods tonight and tomorrow. And unfortunately, you cannot go any further.
It's actually quite serendipitous. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, do we try? Do we try and get an audience now? No, he's hunting. He would look upon that with disfavor. Like, no worries. We're just passing through. Is there not an alternative path that we could take that would not disturb the Lord's hunting party? We have very important business to attend to.
Oi. Yeah, any further south, the road, I mean, you could cross country hike it. I would suggest either way will lead you back down to the southern path or to the river. Most of the hunting does occur south of the river, so definitely don't cross the river if you go that way.
Okay.
But you might be more comfortable going back to town and spending the night there.
Place isn't exactly our cup of tea. Nice tavern, though.
Ah, Barbara. She runs a great tavern. Very excellent.
She does. The meat pies were excellent. Oh, wait, it was stew. I apologize. I've been on the road for a while, and I'm ready to get to our destination. What was your name, Sir Knight?
Sir Compton. Very nice. Very nice to meet you. And may I ask for your names and papers, please?
Excellent. I have my papers. Do you have your papers?
Yes, I do.
I assume you know our traveling companion. As I
Almost
beckon
what?
Alyssa forward.
Alyssa comes forward. Um, she's walking normally as she nods to Sir Compton. He looks at her and nods, says, "I've seen her around town." So I take it that you are on some business for the madam?
In a roundabout way, yes.
Completely understandable. He holds out his hands for your papers.
Now, can I make a perception check to see if he would be amenable to said bribe in the papers?
Unfortunately, you don't know enough about him to even hazard a guess. The only thing that you know is that he's been nice and polite so far. He has not told you directly to turn around after you stated you have business. But he's just adamant that you don't take the road south. That's all you know.
I am going to tip the paper slightly as I hand him and slide the coin out to where it's in my closed palm as I hold my papers out to him.
Can I get a sleight of
And
hand
smile
check?
politely. Yes. Probably going to be trash. Not terrible.
It's enough that you manage to slide the coin out as you pass him your paperwork for you and Alyssa. Namriel, he looks at the papers, looks back up and says, "Okay, it's temporary." He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a pen. As he flips over the back of the temporary and notices that there's no signatures or names, he says, "Names, please."
Yabrana Shatterstone.
Namriel.
Shatterstone. Namriel, and of course I know the surf. So very admirable that you get her papers, by the way. As he writes your names on the temporary slips, he says, "Any plans to return?"
Yes.
Okay. I can sign these on the return, but the fee is a silver each.
Can I just go?
Sorry,
Can I just
go ahead.
can I just go ahead and pay the fee in advance?
You can pay the fee to me right now, and I will notarize it. They'll see my signature, and you can take the temporary pass and turn them in to any of the city guards to get the permanent one issued at the permit office.
All right.
Both of you, do me a perception. What's your passive perception?
11.
Wicked, what's your passive perception?
Hold on. I'm looking. How's your passive perception an 11? Passive perception, it's the number to the side of it, right? It's a 5.
No, it's the number. It's the number to the top.
Oh, okay. Where? Oh, hold on.
Yours should be close to his.
Scroll down under skills. It's passive wisdom.
Oh, okay. Passive wisdom 15.
And you want to give shit.
It just sounded high to me.
Yours is way higher than.
I know. I don't know why, but okay. I'll go with it.
Nabriel, you don't really notice anything, but Wicked, you notice a slight twinkle in his eye when he says the cost of him notarizing those papers. So you get a feeling like he's getting, he's getting a cut of that. It probably shouldn't be that expensive.
I'm fine with it. I'm actually going to hand him 2 silver pieces to thank him for the information and ask him which is the best route to take south
As
to Fall Creek.
as you pass him the coin, he scribbles
2 coins. I give
the
him
2 coins. I'm
I
sorry.
gave him a tip.
As you pass him the 2 coins, he signs under your name, Yabrana Shatterstone. He signs underneath there, and he pockets the 2 coins. As he hands you both slips back that he signed. He signed both for you and for Alyssa. And he pockets the coin and cuts you a cheeky grin as he says, "Well, I'm not supposed to say this, but," and he looks over at Namriel. He says, "I'll get to you in just a second." As he whispers you to come closer,
I lean in.
he leans down. He goes, "Listen, all right. So we're supposed to have nights all over the place, right? So there's 2 ways you can go. One way is a little bit more dangerous than the other. If you go to the right, go to the east, you got a little bit of a pond. I'd be wary of the rats. I've got one guy out there, but he's shit. Okay, you could probably trample a whole legion through there and you wouldn't notice. I don't suggest you go into the west. Not only have there been sightings of ravens, which are bad luck and all, but there's also merfolk in the waters around here. So unless you're guarded against charm, I'd stay clear. Lord Falkreath
Merfolk.
hunting bear. And there's a cave to the south, so don't go past the river at all. His guys are good, and he's got both of his heirs out there. So if it were me, I'd go to the east. I'd go past the rats just to be safe. And there's a nice little pond, a good camping spot over there. I've been out there many a time when I've been on patrol in the woods. It's a nice place. You can see where the camp's been set up before. If you do decide to go west, there's an old hollowed out log. It's a big, huge tree trunk. It's been there for a while. It should give you enough cover. Just be wary of the merfolk and the ravens.
Okay. I appreciate your advice.
He nods at you, very respectful, with a little bit of a twinkle in his eye. He looks up at Namriel and says, "Sir."
I'll scooch out of the way a little.
I hand him a silver coin.
You hand him a silver coin. He takes it. He scribbles Sir Compton on there, and he hands it back to you and says, "Not seen the likes of any of you around here. You travel safe." Now, he looks at you both, looks at Alyssa, nods his head, looks at you both and goes, "I'm going to ask that you guys go back up that trail before you decide which way to go. After dark-ish, you guys should be good to meander on your way. And y'all have a pleasant night." As he turns around and he waves down one of the guys that is actually lighting the fire as he goes to evidently give report. As he walks away, you notice that he has a pronounced limp. Totally favoring his left leg.
Interesting. Interesting. I have to pee. I'll be right back.
Now, you also notice that it has begun a light misting rain.
Oh, if only. I feel like you did that. Huh?
I said we have a viewer. Hi, viewer. It doesn't tell me who you are.
What?
But I appreciate you being here. We have a viewer.
Awesome.
Yes, very awesome.
I say we meander back up the path a little bit. And then I'm all for going to the east and taking the easier path because we're very soft and squishy right now.
Yeah, I'll second that one. I don't quite want to become worm food.
Yeah, I'd prefer not to die before the quest even starts.
Wicked, I just let Nightmare know that there is a light misting rain that begins to fall. And it is getting quite dark. You guys probably got 40 minutes of daylight left.
Okay.
You guys let me know which way you want to go.
I vote to the east. You have to move me up because I'm grabbing something to drink out of the kitchen. And maybe a snack. Because I'm a fatty.
I assume you guys moved back past the bend in the road where you guys aren't seen. Is that right?
Correct.
Exactly like you told us to. Me.
All right, Wicked. I've moved you, Nightmare.
Sorry,
You
I'm debating on nibbling on the rest of this roast. I apologize. And I'm chilly.
I'll be back after you do the time skip tonight.
Ah, son of a gun. Nothing.
Um,
It's all good.
Nightmare,
I didn't drop anything.
there is no time skip, bud. You guys have to traverse the forest.
Yeah,
I'm not just
we're
gonna.
not time skipping.
Yeah, I'm not just going to drop you guys into a campsite. You guys have got to find it.
Yeah, no, I'm.
Oh, you said
That's why I said just.
dark. You didn't say it was dark yet.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
we got to move back up the curve of the road as it's getting dark.
All right, give me 2 seconds. I'm getting drink.
Okay.
No worries. I'm getting pot roast, so bear with me.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get done over here myself.
What are y'all having for dinner?
Pork roast, I think? I don't know. I didn't ask Dad. I'm just going to what I heard. No, you're just a coward.
No, pork is disgusting unless it's bacon. That is my personal preference. I apologize. You're going to hear the loud ass beep of my microwave.
Bacon is really good.
Who's doing what?
I'm going to put it this way.
Boy, we
I'm
didn't
almost
hear
done.
none of that. All we heard is muttering.
Hello?
We can hear you now. What'd you say?
I said I was going to start moving that way. The way I just moved my token.
Okay, Wicked, for this instance, do you just want to follow Namriel?
Yes. As long as it's to the east, because I can't see what he's doing. Forgot I needed a spoon.
All right. Nightmare, you take
don't
you take the 2 miles trek. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. You guys have blown through about maybe 10 minutes. The sun is going down. As you get on the outside of the wood, you come to a pretty open field. There's a couple of patches of trees here or there. To the east, you see a pretty big tree. It looks like it's got maybe some kind of a hollow in the center of it. You could tell it's a big tree. And the hollow is also very noticeable. That's directly to your east. To your south, there's another little patch of trees. Further to the east, you hear a very faint muttering.
You said further to the east, I hear muttering.
Yep.
Yeah, that must be the guard. They said wasn't very good. Get Jake, move, buddy, move it. Ah, don't trick me, jerk.
All right. You want to keep moving
So he said head to the east, and we would find a camping spot, but he warned us there would be rats, which is fine, as I pet Nicodemus, who is still on my shoulder.
As long as they don't try to eat me, I don't give a shit. Now, when they start trying to, I'm gonna blow them the fuck up. Speaking of which, let's keep moving.
All right.
You guys move closer to one of the bigger things that you can see, which is the tree with the hollow. As you get closer, you can definitely tell that has a huge hollow in that tree. You're close enough to see that it's pretty big. On its own, it could itself be a campsite. The boughs of the tree are large, but you can't tell what, if anything, is in the hollow. You're not close enough.
I don't really want to test my luck.
I say we keep moving south for as long as we can, because they said that there's already a pre-set up campsite down here somewhere. Or do you want to risk it in the tree?
I don't really want to risk it in the tree because I feel like something could be living in there.
Yeah, and we can continue. We don't have to stop and camp. Like, we can continue through the night. It's... Want some bread, Jake? I say we start heading a little south.
Okay, where's the guard's line of sight at?
You guys are nowhere near close enough for him to see you.
Yeah, he's about...
The further south you go, the less the mutterings are. Like, they're almost inaudible now.
Alright, let's start going this way.
Namriel, you guys go a little bit more further south, and you guys see a little bit of a thicket to your left. It's like just a little dense pocket of trees. The foliage underneath is very thick.
I'm gonna go a little bit further down, so.
Hey, James.
You guys managed to stay in the clearing. You moved a little bit further south. It is getting very close to nightfall. You guys probably have got another 10 minutes max before you will need to have a light source for those that can't see in the dark.
I can't remember if I can see in the dark.
I do not have dark vision yet.
I do. I'm a dwarf.
I want to look around a little bit and see if I notice anything else.
Okay. From the tile that you're on, you can faintly see to the southeast that there is a pond. You can make it out a little bit. You can hear a little bit of the water. You can also hear a lot of rustling coming from the underbush, very close to the south and east of you. Do me a perception check, please.
Oh, I don't know what my perception looks like. Please don't be shit.
You can't tell. I mean, it could be anything. It could be a bear.
My passive is higher than that.
It could be a wandering buffalo. You have no idea.
All right, I'm gonna keep going. So,
As you guys move further south, the rustling does get more clear and distinct as you begin to see rodents of various sizes more frequently.
like, how big are we talking?
As of right now, the biggest one's probably about the size of Nicodemus. But you see like 2 or 3 of them
Okay.
out of the corner of your
Oh,
eye
no.
in plain sight. So you hear more rustling.
Oh. All right,
There's
we're
no
gonna go just a
ROUSs.
little bit more down.
As you guys
I
get
probably should have moved right there.
I'll allow a
Sorry.
move. Not a problem. As you get closer, you can definitely tell that this area is definitely home to a wide variety of rodent. You see mice, you see rats, and you see them a lot more frequently. There's about 10 or 12 now in your line of sight. And some of them are stopping, sitting on their hind legs, and beginning to stare back at you.
I don't want any
That
trouble.
I don't either. You just want to keep moving.
Yep, just don't look at them and just keep moving south
Yep, I'm just gonna keep moving south.
with Alyssa.
Okay. As you move further south, you move away from the staring rats. Unfortunately, some of them have begun to follow behind you. At first, it's 1 or 2, but as you traverse the mile, you look back and notice there's about 30. And they're keeping a
Nice.
respectable distance just as the sun slips under the horizon.
Sweet. I think we can see the pond better now.
You absolutely can. It's to your east.
All right, let's start moving east.
East
You
it
guys get
is, and up you
guys
just stole my token.
Say
Can I
I
get my
fixed.
token back?
Yeah. As you guys get
Thank
closer
you.
to the pond, your 30 rats have now become 60, and they are getting much closer the darker it gets. Now, Namriel, you come right to the edge of the pond, and you can see that there's a path around it. There's a little wooden bridge right there that takes you to an encampment area that's under these 2 trees right here.
Mhm.
You can
I got a question.
ford
Would
the
I be able to
pond,
use?
but your clothes and items will get wet, and you will need a source of light to be able to navigate.
I got a question. Would I be allowed to use that to produce myself a light source?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna do a just like a small ball of radiating fire.
Okay. It will illuminate an area just in your immediate vicinity. It is not enough for Alyssa to be able to see.
That's fine. I've got her hand.
Alyssa absolutely takes your hand as she is beginning to show signs of absolute nervousness as she is constantly looking back and staring at the now 90 rodents that are following you.
Does Nicodemus seem in any way perturbed?
Nicodemus is definitely he has his tail along your front and he is staring directly behind you, and he is very attentive to the rats that are behind you.
Hey, how close are the rats to us?
I would say within about 10 feet they're following pretty close. And there's a lot of them. And your light is not bright enough to illuminate them all. You can barely see where the light almost reflects out of their eyes. It's a very eerie sight. Yabrana, you can see a whole lot more clear. There are definitely a swarm of rats behind you guys.
I'm going to select a point 10 feet behind them and put all of them to sleep. Because I'm casting it at, well, if they're regular mice, then that should knock them out.
And if they're not regular mice, it's just going to piss them off.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Nightmare, I need you to roll me a d20.
Yeah.
6.
Nightmare, the fluctuations of the world. Take your spell and amplify
reflected
it.
on me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, the range doesn't increase, regardless of how high the level goes.
However, the amplification doesn't hit all of your targets. It hits one. As Alyssa is knocked unconscious.
She wasn't even in the range.
Yes. That is correct.
It's wild magic.
I hate that shit. Like, actually.
Yabrana, as Alyssa is knocked unconscious, you are still holding her hand. What do you do?
I'm going to scoop her up because I'm going to have to carry her.
How would you like to
Not
carry
leaving
her?
her on the ground.
How would you like to carry her?
Just like bride style.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Your hands
I can't throw her over my shoulder. Nicodemus is there.
I should have just blew him the fuck up when I had the idea in the first place.
No, because then that will alert the guards that we're here. We're supposed to be silently trekking through this forest.
Not if we disappear before they get here.
Unfortunately or fortunately, the rats notice that you now have incapacitated party member as they slink closer in mass. You guys have a couple of options available. You guys can ford the pond to the other side. You guys can move north and then east. You guys can move further south and get into the thicket. You guys do have options here. Wicked, unfortunately, you are encumbered by holding Alyssa, and so your hands are completely occupied.
That's all right. I'm gonna calmly stroll to the northeast.
You calmly stroll. The rats are very close. They're within 5 feet, but they are only following. Nicodemus is still on high
I'm just
alert.
gonna follow. I'm gonna follow Arya at this point.
Yep, stay close behind me so you can see me. Hey, my love.
Oh, wait.
You get to a very rickety wooden bridge. It's crossing the dry gully in between where it looks like a river came down to feed the pond, and it may still do that when it's raining season. The light misting is still going on. Nightmare, at the corner of your eye, you see red and blue sparkles that catch your attention momentarily. Wicked, you come to the footbridge. You could go around it. It will take a little bit of extra time. Or you could cross it.
How wide is it?
It's wide enough for 2 people to walk across, but it doesn't look sturdy enough for 2 people to walk across.
And you said it was raining, right?
That is correct. It's lightly misting.
Yeah. But she's pretty thin from abuse, so I'm gonna cheese it. I'm gonna chance it.
Oh, what to do? What to do?
You cross the bridge just fine. It's a little 5 foot, 10 foot bridge. You cross it just fine. It creaks a little ominously, but you go across the bridge. Now, Mariella, you're at the end of the other bridge. The rodents are just sitting there staring at you. And they are close enough now that your spark is definitely reflecting off their eyes. So as you look out, you can hear Yabrana trot across the bridge. And then you turn back and you see the silent mass of rodents just staring at you.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, while he's still debating, I'm going to go ahead and sit down and unload some rations out of my pack because I'm sure Nicodemus is hungry.
Now, Mary, to give you a little bit more time, I'm going to tell Yabrana what she sees when she goes to the camp. Is that okay?
Can I just go with them and while I'm trying to figure out what for my god to do?
Absolutely. You cross the bridge.
Yeah.
As you both get into the campsite, are you watching the rodents as you go across the bridge, or are you just walking and not paying any attention?
I'm watching them.
They come to the edge of the wooden bridge, but do not cross it.
Ooh.
I hmm. Would I be able to have my god like heighten my senses temporarily?
Yara has chosen one, absolutely, but that will use
Alright.
the keyword. We can give you
Say what
advantage
now?
on. I said that will use your keyword, but you will have advantage on any perception or anything dealing with intelligence checks or anything like that. Absolutely.
So it would be like wisdom, intelligence.
Yeah. Or anything dealing with perception or investigations.
Alright, then Namriel is going to have enhanced perceptions and or really just enhanced senses for like the next 8 hours.
I'll accept
Because
it.
what was the time we set on it? Like a day is the max time we set?
Yeah. Yeah. 24 hours is the max time limit that we sit on that, just so that way it doesn't get too cheaty McCheaterton.
Yeah.
Hey,
And with
Scoopers.
that, as a 14,
Okay, so
what do I notice?
you notice that the rodents are all avoiding the edge of the bridge like it's poison, like it's on fire. They are not touching whatever is on that side. You can tell something
Interesting.
is there. Would you like to make an Arcana check?
Absolutely. My Arcana is all right.
We will definitely take that. No advantage needed. As you your
None.
your senses pick up that this campsite has been warded, and it is
Oh,
an
thank God.
active ward. So it stops any
Nice.
kind of ill intent creatures, malevolent forces. It is set up for safety. And it is hot. And while we have a second, everybody say hello to Scoopers because we have the viewer
Hello.
using the chat.
Hi.
Hey, Scoopers. They said they saw a bridge once. That's terrifying. There's, we had a dragon under the bridge in our other campaign. It was epic. No dragons this time. As you both
a
come
pain
into
in
camp,
all
Namriel, you can't see much. You do still have your spark, correct? From your prestidigitation. You don't see much. You can tell that there is the remnants of an old camp, but you can only see a couple, very maximum about a foot or two in front of you. Yabrana, you go in and you can see that this is a very dedicated campsite. There are marks right up next to the pond where tents have been put out. There is a cache that you can see. It is a wooden box covered with oil protective tarp over it. And it says give as you get on the very front of it in common. There is a fire pit ringed with stones. There appears to be set to the side a bit of lumber that it's already cut and ready for fire. It is placed under the boughs of the trees so that way they don't get too damp. And there's a couple of depressions beside the fire pit that look like it's either where somebody had been sleeping or sitting. Alyssa is still passed out, by the way.
I figured she'll probably be out for a while.
Oh yeah, no, a spell like that.
I pulled 2 rations out of my bag because I have 10, so it'll bring me down to 8. And Nicodemus and I are gonna settle down and nibble on some food. And I'm not lighting a fire because we're trying to be incognito here.
Ooh.
Absolutely. You and Nicodemus snack on rations. You made sure that Alyssa is secure. Night is fully fallen. And you guys can either, it's considered a break time, full of rest. You can either decide to move on. So what are you guys wanting? What's the plan?
The plan is to eat, and then is the bridge that we took the only way off of this little campsite?
It appears so. On the outside, you can ford the pond. It's not that deep. You can ford it. But it'll take time. It's a pretty big pond. So you can afford it, or you can take the bridge. Unfortunately, you can't go further south or east because the woods are very thick.
Yeah, I see that.
So we can either go across the pond,
like say to here, or we can go back over the bridge. Now, do we want to settle in for the night, or do we just want to eat and rest for a few minutes and then head on out?
Oh, this fucking sucks.
I say we just rest for a minute and then head out. But there's like 100 rats.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll fuck off. Maybe they'll be like, oh, they're not going to come out anytime soon.
You're more than welcome to walk back over to the bridge and see if they're still there.
Yeah, true. Sorry, story spot for a second. Do I see them?
Oh, yes. They're definitely still there. They are just outside
Nice.
of the bridge area. And it seems that they've called in reinforcements. From what you can tell, you do have dark vision, so you can see rather well. But it looks like significantly more rodents.
Huh.
However,
Interesting.
none of them are crossing the bridge.
Interesting.
All right, let me take a look here.
Nicodemus, by the way, is now fine that you've reached the campsite. Very relaxed, curled up on your shoulder.
Okay, I wonder. What are rats afraid of?
You can always roll a history check.
Here, I got you. Watch this be shitty on both rolls. That is a natural 20
That is, in fact, a natural 20.
because that is intelligence.
Yep. Yes, sir. So with your advantage roll,
Oh,
Namriel, from the depths of your being, you absolutely know everything there is to know about rats, rodents, whatever the case may be. You know that they have a very low average of health. You know, a couple good swats will do it, but in a group, they're very formidable. You know, they are afraid of a couple things. One would be cats, and two would be fire. And you also know that um, they're very food motivated.
that is true. Okay.
I'm gonna pull a ration out of my bag and I'm gonna get on the bridge ever so slightly, hold it to where they can see it, and then toss it like a good distance.
Okay, I'm not even gonna make you roll a check for that. You take your ration, you open it up, you hold it out, let them get a good eyeful, and then you hurl it. It goes quite a way. As it lands on the ground, the rats around it fan out and then go to attack the rations. Some accidentally attack their brethren. A couple of unfortunately don't make it out of the scuffle. They just end up more food for the rest of them as they demolish the ration that you sent out in less than a minute.
Okay. Well, I say we do that. And let me see. I've got a thing.
I'm gonna pull 4 more rations out and do the exact same thing, except try and throw them further to try and get the rats further away from the barrier.
I think I'll also cast this too. Simultaneously as he throws the rations, and right at the the edge of the bridge, like a little cube area, like right here between all of them. I'm going to manifest the scent of a cat, a large cat, which I can do.
Absolutely, you can do.
Says you can create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect.
Okay, and that is a cantrip, so it's not a spell. It's instantly activated. So wild magic does not affect it. So it goes off of that hit. So you guys do the 1-2 punch.
Sweet.
Namriel, you take your rations, you open them up, get smell good and crumpled. As you take them and you chunk them, do you chunk them all in one direction? Do you chunk them in 4 directions? Do you try for the same spot every
Oh, I
time?
throw them in. I throw them in completely different directions out there. I throw one, grab the next, and then just do the same thing. Just
You run at the same time,
I'll
your
also,
spell goes into effect as you generate the smell of a very large cat. The slight rain does not affect it as it wafts out and the rations land just about at the same time. The rats closest to you flee. The rats that were further away go after the rations, giving you guys a little bit of a breathing room. They are now only
all right,
about 60 and they're all fighting over rations and they are taking themselves out too.
let's
I'm gonna scoop
go.
up Alyssa and cheese it. Run!
I
I'm doing
am
Alyssa, by the
booking
way.
it.
Okay.
Okay, so
you guys
we hit the
managed
tree line.
you guys managed to run through and then you guys have hit the tree line. There are a couple of deer paths that you can go through. They're very narrow. Numriel, you still have your spark, I'm assuming. Yabrana, you can see at night. Whoever's going to take lead, it will take a while to get through the wood.
All right, I'll take it.
Yep. We'll take the deer path. Slow and steady.
You guys clear the wood. It does take you about 2 or 3 hours to get through. So it's
Which means
roughly
I've
1,
got
2
very
o'clock in the
little
morning.
time left.
As you guys clear the wood, you can definitely see that there is a campsite directly to your east. Right in front of you is a very small cove. It looks like just a very smallish pond. It's got a ring of rock around it. It looks odd. It doesn't look natural. It looks like something that somebody that was man made.
We can investigate later. Let's get going.
But it's water. I'm a druid.
You decided you're going to investigate the pond a little bit more. You can
Just a
tell that
little.
you can tell that it's definitely man or magic made. You can't quite figure out which. It looks like it's rather deep to be just a forest pond. You can also tell that it has been stocked with all manner of fish. There's bass, there's tilapia, there's catfish, pretty big catfish too. The water is very clear. You can see directly to the bottom, and the bottom is definitely not forest bottom. It looks like some kind of very light sand. It makes the fish stand out. You can also tell along the rock edge there are a couple of, it looks like some kind of animal nests. Pretty sure it might be avian, but you can't really tell. There's no sounds coming from it. There are birds in there. They are asleep.
Well, not gonna fuck with the wildlife. I was just curious. But it looks to me like this pond was made for somebody that likes to hunt and fish, but also likes to pretty much guarantee that he's not going to have a hard time doing it.
All right.
It's
Now,
like a
Mariel,
rich asshole made it.
as you get closer to the campsite, you can tell that there are knights. They are awake and they are on active guard duty. You're far enough away that they don't notice you yet. And what is both of your passive perceptions again, please?
11.
15. I just feel like that's way too high for us to be as low level as we are.
It's a good passive. You guys did something good in your rolls, or something's wrong with the character sheets. One of the two. Yabrana, you can tell to the southwest that there is a fire that has begun not too long ago. The smoke is just now coming across the trees over the tops of them. As you can hear the fire starting up. Namriel, you are close enough to notice that those knights that are on guard duty are wide awake and very attentive. They are now looking in your general direction. They cannot see you, but something in your direction has caught their attention.
So when you say fire, do you mean like a forest fire or just somebody lit a campfire?
You can't tell. You notice that it's a fire,
I
but it's just now beginning. So the smoke is just now starting to rise above the tree line. So you're not entirely sure.
I am going to get rid of my flame and take a step back. Like, I'm going to stay very, very low, but I'm going to slowly shift back.
Our viewer Dolly's just said, I wish I had an aunt who's a DM, but all my aunts are like 80. And I'm sorry, Dolly. Yeah, 43, so I'm halfway there, a little over halfway there. Namriel, are you paying attention to the guards as you dispel your prestidigitation? Like, are you eyeballing them like they're eyeballing the area that you're at? I just want to know where your attention's focused at.
Um, I'm trying to make sure that they're not staring at me whenever I kill the flame.
All right, so good news. As you back away and you pay more attention to what you're doing, their guard comes down a little bit. They relax a little bit more. Their faces aren't so tight and rigid. But they're still on alert, but they're not on as high alert as they were. They still cannot see you. You do have line of sight to them, but they cannot see you. They just know something's out there.
All right. Then I got a question to the DM.
Go ahead.
If we go back into the edge of the forest, would we be able to get advantage on stealth?
Yes.
Okay. And it's still dark, correct?
Yeah. All this time, it's about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. You guys have got about an hour and a half
Okay.
until daylight, so it's not even false dawn yet. It's still very dark.
It's pitch black of night. Because I'm wondering. Because he said to stay away from the cave because that's where the Lord of Falkreath is going to be. That's why they're patrolling the roads, is to make sure nobody's trying to assassinate him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I say we head silently for tree cover and try and keep going east to go south, right? Because he said to go east and then south.
That
Yeah.
is that
Following
is
the road.
correct.
Okay.
You guys merge
DM,
back
if that happened. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
as you both merge back into the tree line. You can start hearing sounds of active, loud battle. The knights
Oh.
that were just paying attention to the woods turn their attention immediately to the southeast as they begin to gear up and pack up.
Interesting.
I'm going to slowly move forward.
Do me a favor. The guards are now all awake and active and actively packing. That move is going to need a stealth check.
All right. Then I got a question.
Yes.
If I happen to, I don't know, have double advantage on that check, would I be able to, would you consider it an automatic pass?
Stealth is not a wisdom or an intellect based skill.
No, but because it's dark and we're in the tree line, we have advantage on stealth there.
You did until everybody in the camp was awake.
All right, then I'm just going to use that on myself.
I'm gonna stay put and see what happens because they're gearing up, which means they're probably heading out. So if we just give them a few moments and they pack up, we'll probably have the ability to just squeak by.
That's true.
This is the
Are
one
they
grace I'm going to
frantically
give you.
packing or? Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. This is the one grace I want to give you this round. If you would like to take back that action, I will allow it once.
Yep.
Okay. That's your only retcon for the rest of the game, yeah? Well, I mean, for
Sure.
this
Everybody
session.
gets one, which means I
Yeah.
get one later.
That is very true. I do try to. So, as you guys are noticing that this camp is packing up, you could hear thunderous sound coming from the south as it's getting closer to the knights. The knights have stopped packing or are now gearing up for battle. You can see that they're arming themselves, the ones that weren't in their armor, the ones that are in their armor. Their attention is focused to the road and they are geared up for battle. As you can hear the thunder of horses race towards you.
I'm gonna get as low as possible to minimize my chances of being seen. I know it's like super dark and it's probably
Yeah, I'm going to get
not
really
gonna
low
happen, but I'm gonna
too.
get low.
Okay,
I am
you
too.
guys hunker down. I will absolutely take that as an action. As out of the woods and up the road comes a party of extremely well-dressed knights and one man in mage robe. They are on horses as they are galloping into camp. The knights part for them as they hop off their horses and form a line. Right behind them is a bear. It has got to be the biggest bear that you, Ubrana, have ever seen. It is huge. It has a couple of spears in its side. It is completely pissed. The horses, now riderless, run down the road as the 5 knights in this company, the 4 riders, prepare for battle.
That's a big bear. Alyssa at no point has started to stir, correct?
Oh no, she is unconscious. She is out.
She's knocked the fuck out. And she will be until we hit the city, probably.
I want to see how this goes.
The battle in front of you begins. The bear is extremely hurt, but also extremely pissed. The knights, the three well-dressed knights in the front, plus the one mage robe. The mage robe runs behind the knight line of the 5 regular knights that were part of the camp. The older knight stands vanguard with 2 younger knights behind him. One maybe in his early 20s, the other one maybe 16 if they're a day, as they lowered their swords and shields as the bear attacks. The older gentleman steps in front as the bear swipes, and despite him being an older knight, he moves with very fluid grace as he cuts under the bear. As the bear reaches out, he cuts under and goes to slash across the bear's chest. Unfortunately, doesn't do much damage. The blonde-headed knight to his
Is that
left.
this guy? And
That
that was this guy, right?
Yeah, the older gentleman's this guy right here.
Okay.
That's the
Gotcha.
20-year-old. That's the 16-ish year old.
Okay, perfect.
As the older gentleman goes under and cuts up with his sword, the blonde knight goes in to deflect the other swipe of the paw, and unfortunately is not as graceful as the elder man, as he gets decked across the face.
Oh,
You can see it in real time. The claws are out. The mangled body, still alive, falls to the ground as the elder gentleman roars in rage, as all of the knights converge on the bear. It's a fast, furious fight. You can't tell who's getting damaged, who's not. They're all in there chopping, swiping, bashing. The fight lasts barely 2 minutes, but it feels like an eternity. As finally,
what's the wizard doing?
the wizard,
Sorry.
not a problem. The gentleman in the robe, good pick up on that. The gentleman in the robe is currently speaking into what appears to be a sending stone. You can't make out what he's saying. After the 2 minutes of furious fighting, the bear, with a roar that rings in your ears and rings in your memories, goes down. Yabrana, you hear the flip of a coin.
Oh, son of a biscuit. Oh. Oh, man. You got to give me a minute. I'm so sorry. Did you just kill him?
No.
Oh, I was like, did you just kill him?
No.
How bad is the younger gentleman?
The younger gentleman
that
is
one
absolutely incapacitated and bleeding out. The younger one has some minor wounds. The elder is completely unharmed. There is an additional knight of the 5 that is down, but not dead.
Okay. All right. I am probably going to do the stupidest thing that I've ever fucking done in my life. Okay. So the bear's dead, right? Okay.
Oh.
So they got the bear.
Oh yeah, bear's dead.
Yeah, bear's dead. To me, the wizard didn't do shit. So I'm wondering, this is my own personal thoughts, if now would be a good time to step in and save what I assume is going to be the heir of Falkreath. Everybody's distracted. They're battle wounded. Okay. Because I don't like the divine intervention solves every problem. So what I will do is I will make it where Mariar bestows excess charisma for roughly the next 8 hours. I am going to, while everybody's distracted, set Alyssa down and put Nicodemus in her hands. You know, she's asleep, so she's got him. Make sure he's safe. And I am going to belly crawl, because I'm still going to try and avoid as much attention as possible for the moment, and lay my hands on this gentleman. I don't even think I have to touch him, actually. And try and help him out a little bit because he's bleeding out.
Okay, I need you to roll me a d20.
All right, give me 2 seconds. Oh, please don't let me kill this motherfucker. It's a 3.
You go to cast your spell. It does cast. It does hit your target. However, it does so in the most flashiest way possible. Opposite of your intent to stay within the shadows and do it without being noticed. Your healing spell glows with the light of 1,000 suns as your prone body is enveloped in a godly aura as your healing word drifts from your mouth into the incapacitated man. All attention turns to you
Christ.
as the 4 remaining knights that are standing, the older gentleman and the younger knight, all turn and stare at you in disbelief. You're still prone, by the way.
Is he okay? Yeah, I'm just laying there on the ground. I'm like, is he okay?
Roll persuasion, please, with your advantage.
Alrighty. Persuasion. Well, good thing.
The elder knight looks down at you, very, very confused. As he looks at you, at the fading light of your spell, and the wounds on the man's face that are slowly closing. His color is a little bit better. He's breathing more easily, and the wounds on his face are knitting in as the older gentleman kneels beside his battered son, grabs him in his arms, and goes, "Thank the gods." Unfortunately, he's the only one to have that reaction, as the 4 remaining knights spread out in front of you, swords drawn. And that's where we're going to have to end for tonight.
Fuck me. That's all right. I'll come. This is why I wanted the extra charisma in case something like this happened.
You had one job.
Well, they haven't seen you.
Yeah, I can just leave your ass and keep moving on.
You definitely could. You still have
And I might.
a gem to find.
Wicked.
I could just let them
Actually,
bleed out. They weren't doing anything.
That is a very good point that I want you to keep in mind for next session. Because
where is it?
you have a
Where is
very,
this?
very good point. But also,
Where
please
the
keep in mind
fuck?
that that dude had been talking to that sending stone for you don't know how long.
Exactly. What use is he if he's not there to fucking help? That's a big bear, though.
That is a very big bear, and I do like poor dead Dolly. He's in the chat. He's like, poor bear. Like, yeah, poor bear. Oh,
I'm upset about the bear. It didn't do nothing to nobody except for maul that guy, but they stabbed it first.
yeah, you could definitely tell that they'd stabbed it first. Absolutely.
Okay.
Nightmare, you are still at this moment hidden, but you're also right next to Alyssa, and Nicodemus. So you are well within, you do have some wiggle room for next session once you decide on what you want to do. Keep in mind that you also still
For
have
the
your wisdom and
record,
intelligent bonus as we go into next session. Also, go ahead and guys get a level up because that was
Yay.
wonderfully done. You guys
Ooh.
used a
Four.
lot of smarts
Oh.
to get away from the rats. You guys navigated that very well. Good job. Level ups.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Nightmare.
So, for the record, I said it at the end of last session. My character is a true neutral.
That is correct.
Y'all can die, and I will keep on going with my quest.
Do it.
That's also correct. Dude, you can play your character however you want. The only thing that I asked at the beginning of the session was no purely evil characters. But you are more than welcome to walk away. If that was too much for you, you absolutely can. I can't guarantee that you'll get away, but you can certainly try.
I might be able to.
And I'm a chaotic neutral, not because I believe in chaos, but because I'm a fuck up.
I will run.
Also, keep in mind, I do still have my DM bonus.
You do.
From Pop the Giant Weasel.
Yes, you do, because you haven't used it yet. I do have that note.
I have not.
So, any thoughts, questions, concerns, compliments, or concerns, or criticisms before we end tonight's session?
Nope, I had fun. I am so sorry. I am not turning on. Excuse me.
No, I am.
You guys used your head this session. Good job, because that could have gotten really ugly really fast in a lot of different ways. And I do try to give you both a chance to use your gods every session, but that may not be a moving forward thing. That's just if the circumstances will call for it. And both of you did not do what I expected. So good job on that. Surprised me a little bit.
What did you expect us to do?
Utter chaos and not well thought out actions. So color the sea. I'm a little surprised.
Learned from the last time.
I think we learned from the last time. I have PTSD from the last campaign. Okay. We really should have recorded that one.
I think we really thought outside of the box and had some really excellent moments.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing more of the frosting.
Yes.
Ooh, hello.
Yeah.
What does this feat do?
Okay, so it is right at 9 o'clock, and that is my hard stop time. So we're going to end it for tonight. Thank you, Dead Dolly, for coming and chilling with us. We do this every Sunday night, computer God's willing. And we're going to call it a day, and we're going to see you next session to find out what happens to Yabrana and Namriel next time on D&D. Good night, everybody. Say good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.